I'm not too late for this recipe. I know it's Thanksgiving in the United States now, but I'm going to show you an easy dish that you can make that's really fun and very fast to make. And if you can't, if I'm too late for Thanksgiving, you could always serve this around Christmas time. So let's start off. We're going to make that very soft dough again. And you know, because I have the sourdough, I'm going to put some in there. And again, if you don't have it, just leave it out, right guys? And to this, we're going to add just a little bit of magic powder. This is not baking soda, this is baking powder, guys. So I'm going to say about a tablespoon of that. And before I put the salt, I'm going to add some flour. So that's like 1.5 cups, about 1.5 cups of flour. Now I can add the salt to this. Salt, I put about maybe 2 teaspoons of salt. And now we're going to add some water. Remember, always a little at a time. I'm using warm water. Now, because I have my sourdough starter, I'm going to need less water than if I would be using no sourdough. Now you could also do a yeast dough if you want, like a pizza dough. This is just a faster way to make this dish without having to wait for all that rising of your dough.
Yes, a little bit more.
Okay, we're going to flour our counter. And we're going to drop our dough on there. Like I said, if you want to do the yeast dough, you can. But this just makes my life easier, and it's just so much faster. Just grease my hands a bit with a little bit of olive oil and just start kneading this dough. And because it's a soft dough, you're going to have to probably feed it some flour. Okay, so I'm going to put this in a bowl for now because I'm still not ready. I've got other things I got to make. Just going to grease that bowl. Put it in there. And just put it aside for later on. Just clean off this counter. Okay, so we're just going to cover this. And we're going to use this later. Okay. We're going to take an onion and we're going to chop it up. Now you can do this by hand, or you could just throw it in here and just quickly pulse it. And we're going to make a fast gravy. Okay. Just gonna roughly cut it, and we're gonna chop that up. Okay, I'm gonna use one of these large mushrooms that I have. This is just a white button mushrooms. I buy these by the case, but because these are like second grade, they're not grade A, they're grade B, because if you notice, it's one mushroom, but it's like twinsies. So I got a real good price for these because they're not beautiful, but I really don't care if they're beautiful because they're gonna go into our belly. So I'm gonna use one of these, and this will be chopped up with the onion because we want little bits in our gravy. But again, if you don't want little bits, you could puree everything later on. For now, I'm just gonna do it this way. Now you can sit there and chop this by hand, but we're gonna do it really fast. Here we go. And we're going to put this in our pot. So we're just going to quickly cook this up with a little bit of olive oil. We're making gravy, you need a little bit of fat. Where's my daddy's spoon? Okay, to this we're going to add just a little bit of coffee, guys. We want this to darken our gravy, not a lot. It also has a nice earthy taste, so it's going to give us a beautiful, beautiful gravy. So we're just going to get this nice and golden, and then we're going to add other ingredients to this. Just want to show you how it's darkening up. And the smell is just fantastic. So easy to make a gravy. All you really need is a little bit of onion, a little bit of mushroom, a little bit of water, and some milk. I add a little bit of coffee. We're going to put a little bit of soy sauce. That's going to add also to the gravy. And then we're going to add some salt. And we make gravy. We could even add some, I have some red peppercorns. So I'm going to take a few of those and I'm just going to crush them and hand crush them. You know what? I'm going to change it up. I'm not going to do red. I'm going to do a little bit of white. And that's very little. Here, I'll show you how much I'm using. And we're just going to kind of crush it. Now, you don't have to use this if you don't want to. But it does add some nice flavors to your gravy. That should be good. Okay. In it goes. Perfect. Now's a good time to add the water. I'm going to add about 2 cups of water. So you see what I'm doing. I don't want to steam you, but you have an idea. There we go. Look how beautiful this is going to be. A little extra coffee. Just a little. That's instant coffee I'm using. And that's going to add that nice dark color to your gravy. Now, before we add any kind of salt, we're going to add a little bit of, here we go. I'm going to add one now. This is the one I'm using. It's organic wheat-free tamari, or you could use soy sauce. This is what I'm using. So I'm going to add, let's see, 2 of these. Whoa, burn myself on the pot. And notice how the color is getting darker. Now, if you need it even a little darker, all you have to do is add more of that coffee. If you taste this, you don't even taste the coffee, but I see that I do need some salt. So I'm going to add a little more coffee. Get it nice and dark. Don't forget, this is going to lighten up later when we add the flour and a little bit of milk. And we're going to put this back on the burner, and we're just going to cook it till everything infuses itself and gives us that delicious gravy taste. So I'm going to put this back on the burner a little longer. Now I have, it's in, this is organic Worcestershire sauce. I put the one I make in my bottle here. If you don't have any vegan Worcestershire sauce, you can leave it out. Just replace it with maybe a little bit of maple and a little extra soy sauce with just a tiny splash of vinegar. Then you can replace this. It's not going to be identical in taste, but it will give you the same type of profile. So I'm going to put a little bit of this in my gravy. Remember, if you don't have it, just a little bit of soy, just a little squirt of white vinegar and some maple kind of gives you the flavor that's going to go in there. Maybe just a little sprinkle of cinnamon. But otherwise, if you want to learn how to make my Worcestershire sauce, I do have a recipe up if you want. Now, if you want this a little more mushroomy, I would say add some mushroom powder, which I'm going to do. I'm doing it this way because I don't want all those chunks in my gravy. But if you don't have any powder and you don't mind the little gravy bits, a lot of gravy bits, then I say go ahead and just cut up your mushrooms. But because I don't want all those gravy bits, I'm going to use 1 tablespoon of my shiitake powder. And this is going to be just scrumptious. So I've got 2 cups of water, but if I see it's too reduced, because I'm going to cook this up for about maybe 15-20 minutes, 15 minutes for sure, on a low simmer. Okay, so we're going to make a little stuffing for that dough we made, and it's going to be very easy to do. Okay, we're going to use... Okay, we're going to use about half a cup of TVP. About 3/4 cups of oats. I'm not centered, eh? Sorry about that. Mushroom powder, we're going to put a little bit in here. That gives you that nice earthy taste. About a tablespoon of mushroom powder. Okay, we're going to put dehydrated onions, or you can use fresh onions. That's up to you. Again, I do like the dehydrated onions sometimes because it has a whole different profile. The taste is a little different. Okay, so how much would this be? Well, it depends on how much you want, guys. Okay, there we go. We're going to add a little bit of salt to this. I want to show you my gravy so far. Look at this. Look how beautiful. And the taste. Holy moly, it's good. Okay. Here we go. We're going to put a little bit of salt. Salt to taste, guys, for sure. I'm going to put a little bit of Montreal steak spice. We're going to put a little bit of nutmeg. Holiday flavors, guys. These are all holiday flavors. Nutmeg and some clove if I could find it. Here's my nutmeg. I'd say about an 8. We're going to start off with that and see if we need more. And clove. Yeah, about an 8. And if we need more, of course, we're going to add more. We're going to give this a mix. And we're going to add some water. You want to rehydrate this. I have an idea how much I need to put, but if you're not sure, do a little at a time, guys. And you're wondering, why am I adding oats? Well, the oats is going to bond everything together. We're just going to let this absorb it. Just a little bit of coffee to darken the meat. Just a little more nutmeg. Yeah. We're going to put another. Nutmeg is a must. It gives you that French meat pie taste. like a tortilla. Really good. Just keep absorbing. This is going to get nice and tender. I'm telling you, vegan food is a whiz. I think I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil in this. Give it some fat like meat has. It's the holidays, guys. We're not going to look at the fat contents. A little more nutmeg. This is really up to you in taste. Nutmeg, like I said, gives you that holiday taste. Now, if you prefer maybe doing like a taco meat inside your dough, go ahead and do that. It's your food. You do it the way you like it. Just like a tortilla. Okay. So we're going to put a little bit of garlic in there. Now, you could put, if you don't have fresh garlic, you could simply put, I lost my garlic. I got to go find some garlic. If you don't have any fresh garlic, you could just put some powdered garlic. I love this garlic press. Okay, so let me just take this off the burner so you can see what I'm doing. This is rehydrating nicely. I'm telling you, TVP is a must in a vegan kitchen because you could do so much with it. And if you don't have TVP or can't get it, you could just make a little bit of seitan meat. Very easy, either with Vita-Wheat gluten, or you could do it from scratch where you wash the flour out, and then once it's cooked, you can simply mince that meat up, squeeze the water out. You can freeze it and maybe in small bags and pull it out as you need it. Okay, just a little taste. So good. Everything is just, all the flavors are picking up. Remember, salt, pepper, that's up to you, how you want it. If you want it salty, if you want it less salty. So I'm just going to put this aside for now. There we go. I'm going to put just a little bit of my milk. This is my latest recipe, guys. Not too much because this is going to whiten up that gravy. Okay, I can use a little more. That's about a nice color gravy. If you want it lighter, you add a little more milk. Look how beautiful that is. I'm telling you, vegan cooking is easy. Put it back on the burner. Actually, before I put it in the burner, I am gonna take a little bit of this gravy, put it in a cup or a glass, and I am gonna add flour to it. Through my measuring spoon in the sink, so I am going to eyeball it. About 2 tablespoons to start off with. I don't think we need more than that. Give it a good mix. Keep adding a little bit of gravy so we can mix this up. And then once it's a liquid form, then you could just simply put it in your gravy. Otherwise, you're going to end up having one big clump. That should be good. My God, I wish you could taste this gravy. Okay, we're going to put it back in. Just a little bit of gravy to wash that up. And back on the burner. Okay. Just want to show you. Look at this. Now, how thick you want your gravy, that's up to you. Now, the rest of the cooking time, this really didn't take long. I cooked, I was just simmering it for about maybe 10 minutes on the stove. But now, if you want this more pureed, you're going to puree it by hand. If you don't want to see the little bits, how Erica feels, she might want it pureed. But I'm going to put this back on the burner just to thicken it up a little. Keep an eye on it and go back to my meat here. When you're rehydrating, I never measure anything, guys. Just add water a little at a time. And if you find you did add too much water, guess what? It's not a problem. Throw this in a pan, put it on high, a little bit of olive oil, and you have delicious meat ready for you. It's gonna, all the water is gonna evaporate anyhow. If you found you put too much water inside your meat. Taste. Tender. Everything is tender now. Okay, so now to this I'm going to add a little bit of, guess what? Very easy. Something else besides oats that holds everything together. We're going to add a little bit of mashed potatoes. So I have potato flakes. That's what I'm going to use. And remember, the gravy depends how thick you want it. You want it super thick, you leave it on the burner a little longer. If you want it less thick, well, don't leave it there as long. Remember, guys, there's no mistakes here. If your gravy got too thick on you, just add a little bit extra water, a little extra milk, and guess what? It goes back to how you like it. There's no mistakes. There's no mistakes in cooking. There really isn't. When you cook with love and passion, when you know who you're cooking for your family that you love, over the holidays especially, there's no mistakes, guys. Now, I know I'm going to be late for Thanksgiving, like always. There's just so much in my plate right now that I didn't quite make it on time. Okay. I just want to show you my gravy is done. Look at that. You see this gravy? How beautiful is it? My gravy is done. Now we're going to wait for Erica to see if she wants to maybe blitz this up into a creamy texture. If she doesn't mind leaving the little bits, that's up to her. And a little more potato. There we go. That's another thing in a vegan house, potato flakes. But please, guys, check. We're vegan for a reason. I know some of you are vegan for your health, but we don't want to hurt animals. So if we can eat delicious food without hurting any animal, why would we, right? So when you're looking for mashed potatoes, check the ingredients, because some of those mashed potatoes have animal products in it. You want mashed potatoes that have no animal products. I wish you can taste this. So good. Okay. I'm just going to put a drop of milk just to get that a little more tender. Just a little bit of milk. Because the potatoes are going to suck that up too. I just want this just a little more tender. But notice how everything holds together now. Between the oats and the potatoes, it's a perfect... This is perfect. Okay, let me clear this up. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Okay, let me put this aside. I just want to show you. We're going to need a little bit of vegan butter if you have. Remember, guys, it's Thanksgiving. It's Christmas. And if you don't want to put it in, guys, don't put it in. Optional, right? Perfect. Okay, I'm going to put that aside. All right. back to the dough. Whoop. There we go. And because it sat, all the gluten strands give it a nice elasticity to the dough. Okay, now it's up to you. Do you want to make a whole flat, put your meat and then roll it? Or you could do small individual. Let me get. I'll try and make it as even as possible. You want to taste this? Want to taste my my gravy? Do you want it pureed or do you want this with the little bits in it?
Doesn't matter.
Needs a little bit of salt, eh?
Yeah.
Okay. So we need a rolling pin. Some are going to be bigger, some are going to be smaller. I'm off camera like always, eh? Okay, so you could either do individual rolls, you can do, if you want to get fancy, you can make it square. You can make like little pockets where you put your, there we go. You put your meat in and you just kind of flip it over like this. You could do them this way. There's so many different ways you can do it. Okay, I'm going to put this on the side. There we go. Flour it. And I also made a little video showing you how I use pumpkin in my dough. That's a little late. You gotta forgive me, guys. I'm really trying to get things up on time. It doesn't always work out that way for me. Okay. And then they all get their little either roll or square. And they could put some gravy on it. Okay, this one you could kind of, there you go. You can make it that way, or you can make a huge roll, guys. Okay, that side. Make sure you flour it. Okay. Okay. Just a little bit of cranberries. And we're going to roll this up. There we go. You could either put it long or you could put it horseshoe. That's really up to you. We're just gonna cut it up a little so the steam could come through. There we go. This over to the side. I'm not sure if you can see it. Just make little indents, make it look like leaves. And then onto the side here. A little bit of butter. And there we go. You could also take some cranberries. Just kind of stick it. Let me see if I can stick it with some butter. It could be a raisin, it could be a cranberry. That's really up to you. Put this aside. Isn't that pretty? Make like a little horseshoe. You can make more leaves if you want. I'm just giving you ideas. Let me stick this underneath here. Put that raisin on top. There. There you go. Okay, so pretty, pretty, pretty quick. Everything was done quick, guys. And we could just kind of just do it that way. So there's so many different ways you could do it, and they're all gonna come out great. Okay, we have that one. We have our tiny little purse. We have our dumpling style. We've got like a little fold over. We have a mini roll. So you can make all these different shapes that your dough allows you to make. And then you could put this on a tray, and then whoever comes over your house, or if it's just for the people that live in your house, especially right now with the pandemic, we really can't do much visiting. I know here where we are, we're only allowed to visit 2 families together, but it can't total 10 people, which is crazy, because if I want to go over my daughter's house for Christmas, that means her in-laws can't go, which is just not fair. Just not fair. So it's best that nobody goes anywhere if that's the case, and just do video chat and just make food for the people that live in your household. But there you go, guys. Just different things you can do really fast to make. This video was longer than the time it took to make the dough and everything else. But there you go. A little bit of olive oil on top. You could even sprinkle some beautiful black lava salt just to make it prettier. And I hear my cat in my pantry digging at the food. How simple was that? We made delicious tortilla stuffing. We made a very fast non-bread pizza dough without the yeast, and we were able to make some beautiful stuffed dough, a beautiful, beautiful gravy. Remember, guys, taste it. If you want more mushrooms, add more mushroom powder. If you want more of that soy taste, the soy sauce taste, add some of that. But there you go, beautiful gravy to put on top. You want to puree it, puree it. If you want a little chunk in it, that's good too. But isn't this pretty? And you could serve your family something delicious, and it's fast to make. So I'm gonna show you what it looks like at the end, and I'm gonna say I love you guys. Remember, always put love and compassion in your food. I say happy holidays to everyone. I'm sorry I didn't quite make the American Thanksgiving. I'm as slow as molasses sometimes, or maybe I just have too much in my plate and I want to do so much and I end up doing less than really what I wanted to do to start off with. So I'll see you in a little bit, guys. Okay, guys, we decided to puree it. I did taste it again, and I need a little something extra. So I did add some of my beefless seasoning that I make, and it just made it perfect. It just made it perfect. So taste your gravy when you're making it. You might want to use, instead of mushrooms, you might want to use those tiny vegan bouillons. You could get veggie bouillons. Sorry, instead of water, just water, you might want to put those little vegan bouillons. You don't have to wait for Christmas or Thanksgiving to eat a meal like this. You could eat it anytime, and it's more of a fun meal, guys. We're going to put just a little bit of gravy at the bottom. Right there, a little pool. We're going to put that there. And we're going to serve it with a little cooked apple. These are beautiful. What do they call these apples, Erica, again?
Honeycrisp.
Yeah, Honeycrisp. And we're going to put just a little bit of gravy on top. And then Erica could add as much or as little as she wants. So there you go, guys. Let's just make it pretty. Boom. How simple was this? And how beautiful does it look? All you need is a little baked apple and maybe a couple of cranberries. Here it is. My beautiful black lava salt. Just to decorate the plate a little. And dinner, lunch, guest, appetizer is served in no time at all. It really didn't take long. So here you go. I hope you like it. I hope you try it. Again, I apologize that it's late for your Thanksgiving, but Christmas is around the corner, guys. Who wouldn't want to eat something like this? So I'm going to say I love you. And guess what, guys? I'm going to see you in my next video. Guess what my daughter told me? It looks a little... My daughter said to me, Mommy,
It looks a bit phallic.
it looks a little phallic. I'm sorry, guys. Maybe I should have got a different shape one. But Erica, do you want to try it?
Let me get a fork.
Oh my God. I'm so sorry, guys. Oh my God. Okay, Erica. Beautiful. You need more gravy? There's some gravy for you. I want to try it too. Good? Mommy's going to have a little one. This one looks phallic too.
No.
My pieces,
That's really good.
My pieces came funny. Very good.
It's like October when we have our Thanksgiving.
Ours is done.
I know. Brings me back though.
Alright guys, I love you. I'm going to see you soon in my next video. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
For more videos like this, make sure to subscribe to Connie's RAWsome Kitchen, give it a thumbs up, and share it with your friends.